Hey, it's again
The internet hub.
And for today's video, mga curls, of course, it's summer. Umiinit yung panahon. Umiinit na yung feeling. Umiinit na lahat ng bagay. Uy, ano klaseng init yan? Charot. Anyways, mga curls, because for today's video, mga curls, we're gonna be doing a realistic, summer, fresh makeup tutorial. Kasi alam niyo, mga curls, I mean, no shade, huh? But I've been watching like so many summer makeup tutorials, and then the first step, they're like, let's put on foundation. And I'm like, bitch! Foundation? Like, girl, hindi mo pa na-experience yung init sa Pinas. When the universe said he's baking something, they meant the Philippines, okay? But don't worry, mga curls, being the bad bitch that I am and like the most mashikep curl in the world, sis, with this makeup tutorial, you're not only gonna be a hot girl summer, you're gonna be a more mashikep girl summer, and also, hindi lang yun hot girl summer or mashikep girl summer, magkaka-summer fling ka din. This makeup look, mga curls, kahit throughout the day, napawisan ka, madali lang siya i-repair, it's very low maintenance, but you're gonna look like a high maintenance queen. And of course, mga curls, I made sure that this video is gonna be local, affordable, and it's very easy. Plus, mga curls, if you're a boy, you all know, mga curls, when it comes to my makeup tutorials, I make sure it's very universal, skin color, gender, and also budget, universal friendly, you know? And of course, mga curls, in case you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe down below, hit that bell notification icon so you're always notified. And lastly, mga curls, I'll be leaving all my social media links over here. So without further ado, mga curls, let's get started!
Show it sideways, make it in the air. Show it sideways, make it in the air. Let's move it side to side, make it in the air. Let's move it side to side, make it.
Alright, mga curls, so let's get started in this makeup tutorial. Alam niyo, mga curls, this tutorial is like literally so easy kasi I'm the type of person that whenever I get ready, I just like to do the bare minimum, you know what I mean? I want to get the most by doing the bare damn minimum. This is basic knowledge. Make sure your skin is always moisturized. After getting out the shower, I would use this as a primer. This is the Dr. Sensitive All Day No Sebum Primer. Super mura lang neto. It's like literally under 100 pesos. If you want a good primer that will keep your oil in, this is so for you. Ayan siya. So, let's just take her out. Medyo pakipot lang siya. It's like super light. Sobrang gaan neto. Feels amazing. I just put it on my T-zone. Let's put that a little bit. And also, mga curls, pagdating sa summer makeup, I want to be very practical. And whenever I go out, this is also what I wear talaga going out. I'm a really huge believer that less is more talaga. Like, I don't like to put too much product on my face unless if it's sunscreen. So the next product I have here when it comes to sunscreen, like this is the best sunscreen, super gaan neto. So this is the Republic's Beauty Sun Essence. I really enjoy this one. And also, I just learned recently, whenever you're putting sunscreen, you always have to put like a teaspoon sunscreen. Kung wala kayong tablespoon, you have to put the sunscreen 2 fingers ganyan. And then you have to put the sunscreen here, So that's the amount of sunscreen you should be using on the daily. I know it's a lot. Like, even ako, first time ko lang to na-discover, I was like, wow, that's a lot. No if, no buts. This is the amount that you should be using. Actually, ang dami. Pero, on a daily, ayan. And what I really like about this sunscreen, it doesn't leave a white cast. I know it looks white now, kasi syempre, I have to blend it pa. It almost feels like a BB cushion. It's like one of the lightest sunscreen ever. At saka, mga curls, ang technique ko, if I notice na masyado maraming sunscreen sa face, the rest of the sunscreen, I put it on my hands. Kasi normally our hands are one of those things that can tell how old are you. So always don't forget to put sunscreen sa kamay mo. Kasi you may have a youthful face, but if your hands looks old, people can tell that. So ayan, I always put the rest of the sunscreen on my hands, ganyan. Tsaka hindi ako nagbe-breakout dito. Kasi usually whenever I wear sunscreen, nagbe-breakout ako. At maselan ako pagdating sa sunscreen. That's why I love the sunscreen. It's the best. Even if I use a lot, which this is actually the recommended amount of sunscreen you should be using. So behind your ear, pag nagsa-sunscreen kasi, That's the part we normally neglect, is the back of our ears. So always make sure you wear sunscreen para hindi kayo mag-age. We don't want sunspots. So yan, sunscreen is done. I double up my sunscreen as my moisturizer na din. I have my primer on and sunscreen. So what I normally do for the skin naman, I go over, so I have here, this is the Izzy & Co Active Skin Tint. I'm actually in the shade Sienna. I remember dun sa review ko, ang gamit ko Hazel. Habang tumatagal, I noticed it's kind of light for me, and this doesn't oxidize on me for some reason. And second option I have for you, this is the Lux Organics Ultimate Defense Tinted Sunscreen. This is in the shade Tan. I really love this one. So sa mga nagsabi sa akin na pumuti ako, tan ina, char. Charot lang. Pero alam niyo mga Christy, hindi naman talaga ako pumuti. Like, this is just the lighting. Like, you can see my body. I'm still brown. So for Izzy & Co, I use the shade Sienna and I use the shade Tan. And also, pagdating sa coverage, I wouldn't recommend full coverage. I would just recommend light to medium coverage. Why? Kasi pag mag-full coverage ka na foundation, especially mainit, and also naka-face mask kayo, pag once nagalaw yan, or naging patchy yan, halata. Kita mo na kung saan naggalaw yung foundation, kung saan nag-smudge. So that's one thing I would suggest pagdating sa foundation. Let the concealer do its work na lang, which mamaya we'll do that later. Sa Lux Organics na Ultimate Defense Tinted Sunscreen, this is a light to medium coverage. Comparing sa Active Skin Tint, mas maraming coverage pa to compared to dito. So, I'm debating if I should use this or this. I guess go for the Lux Organics kasi in terms of coverage, mas may coverage to ng onte. And also pagdating sa foundation mga curls, so this is in the shade Tan. See, that's actually my exact skin tone. And when it comes to tinted sunscreen, especially if you want that light coverage, I would suggest you use a brush para mas sheer lang yung pagka-apply, like a buffer brush. This one I use, this is from Focallure. Actually, this is a set. Brush set siya. Kasama lang tong brush na to. I'll just link it down below. Super ganda neto. And then I only dot it on areas where I need it. Diba minsan may habit tayo na we put the tinted sunscreen all over? Just on areas that you need it lang. And you don't need a lot. Like, onting-onti lang talaga. Ganyan lang. Ganyan lang. Kasi ang makeup, kumakalat naman yun eh. And you just want a sheer tint eh. So, use a brush para kahit onti lang yung product na ginagamit mo, kakalat pa rin siya. So, yan. I'm just gonna apply this lightly on my skin. Yeah, this one has more coverage, so it will tint the skin nicely. Use a brush kasi if you use a sponge is just gonna essentially just suck up the product. Whereas if you use a buffer brush like this, it's gonna spread the product evenly. And also mga girls, I have a hack for you pagdating sa base makeup. A lot of you are probably thinking na you guys should go matte para magmukhang fresh. Pero alam niyo mga girls, pagdating sa base makeup, stay away from mattes. Like, literally, it's not the best. Kasi why? I would highly recommend you go for dewy finishes or something na parang more glowy. Kasi why? Like, parang ganito. Parang it has the consistency of a serum. Why? Kasi pag naging matte na yung face mo or you put too much powder, once na-smudge na yung foundation, it's hard to fix that. So, stick with something that's more blendable and more malleable. So, even if you take off your face mask and medyo nag-smudge siya around the nose area and the chin area, kasi the first places that smudges when you're wearing a face mask is your nose here, your chin, and then here. Diyan lang nagsasmudge yan eh. So, kahit mag-smudge yan siya, you can just take your finger or take your sponge in your bag and then you can just blend it and it'll just go back to normal. You can just refresh your makeup ASAP. So I highly recommend when you're using a tinted sunscreen, onti lang and use a brush para mas magkalat yung makeup. Like, notice my forehead, I just use 3 dots and then I'm just spreading the product by just using a brush. Tsaka mga girls, the goal is to look fresh even if you're sweating, and kahit mag-smudge yung foundation, it's easy to repair. And also start lightly para if you layer powder throughout the day, hindi siya halata. You don't want to start off the day with heavy powder. You want to start off the day with light powder para kung mag-smudge man siya, madali siya i-repair. If you layer powder throughout the day sa kaka-retouch, it's not gonna look cakey. So I just have a light tinted sunscreen on. This is the Lux Organics. Yun yung gamit ko. Alam niyo mga girls, that like literally took me like 5 minutes. So that's done. Make sure you just focus on the redness on your face and also your uneven skin tone, and that's it. Now that we're done with the tinted sunscreen, we just have a light veil of coverage. This is the time where you spot conceal. Kunyari may pimple kayo, you have dark circles. This is the time you add your coverage. Let's say you have a spot here or scar. Tsaka lang kayo mag-concealer. Huwag kayo mag-depend ng coverage on the tinted sunscreen. As long as that will help even out your skin tone, that's enough. Whenever I go for natural makeup looks, I go for the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer. This is in the shade Almond. Pag naka-full glam naman ako, I use Amber. Pero pag ganito, yung mga bare, no makeup, I use Almond kasi para mas bagay siya sa skin color ko. And I don't color correct kasi you don't want to put too much product. And then this is almost like full coverage. You don't need it anyways. And lang, onti lang kasi baka mag-smudge yan throughout the day. And then just let it be. Just let it hang out there for a couple of seconds. Alam niyo, favorite ko na to concealer na to ever since 2019. Like, I still use it. Then after that, I think it's been like a couple of seconds na. Pwede na to i-blend. So I just blend it like so. Ayan. I don't put... See, I just put a little bit of concealer pero it's able to cover my dark circles. Kasi alam niyo mga curls, ako, my face, as long as I'm able to cover my dark circles, ox na ako. Ako lang ba, though we have that feature in our face na if one thing is corrected, it will complete our whole face. Is it just me? You know what I mean? So I just blend it, blend it, blend it. Mukha siya makapal, but it's not kasi it's full coverage. So it just so happens to look thick. Pero this will look fresh throughout the day. Even if you sweat, just make sure may baon kayong beauty blender and then you can just blend it out. Like, kahit pawis na pawis ka, you just take your sponge and then just do that. It'll instantly refresh your makeup. Pa natin yung the fact na puyat tayo sa kakatext sa jowa natin, day. Tapos, whatever's left, just blend it lightly on your nose. And then, whatever's left on your sponge, you can just blend your lids. Kasi I know this will smudge, so I don't want too much product. As long as it looks brighter, that's enough. Yan, that's enough na. Ayoko na sobrang dami. So, after that's done, this is the part where it gets tricky kasi we have this thinking na we have to put a lot of powder so that your face is matte and it looks clean and fresh and poreless. But, this is my suggestion, mga curls. When it comes to powder, start lightly. Pagdating sa powder, these are my suggestions, mga curls. I have all of these are local and affordable. My current favorite, though, is not super affordable, but I'll give you options, mga curls. The first option I can give you, mga curls, this is the Careline Oil Control Mattifying Loose Powder. This is in the shade Cinnamon, Doctor Sensitive All Day No Sebum Blur Powder. Ganda din neto. It doesn't leave a white cast. Both of these actually. My current favorite, this is the Happy Skin Fresh Morning Dew Aqua Cooling Setting Powder. This is in the shade Beige. Alam niyo mga curls, may review sana ako neto that I filmed, pero mukha talaga akong tanga. Sobrang light ng cooling serum foundation nila. Ang light talaga. Mukha talaga akong ewan. But comment down below if you guys wanna watch it. Pero hindi ko nagustuhan yung mga skin products kasi number one, ang light. Pero I was expecting this to be ashy. Like, I was like, you know what? I feel like this is gonna be ashy. But in fairness, hindi. This is my current favorite powder when it comes to setting my makeup. It's super light, tas ang lamig niya sa skin. Like, you know that feeling when you put an ice cube near your skin and you feel that cool sensation? It feels just like that. And it sets the makeup super nicely and lightly. And it lasts super long. So I highly recommend this. Medyo mahal lang siya, but I still have some affordable options. If you got the extra budget, I highly recommend this. Lang, like super onti lang talaga. Then, you just press it on the skin like that. Like, parang i-graze mo lang yung powder sa skin mo. Don't like set your face like as if you're putting a lot of powder. Just take a little bit, ganyan lang kaonte. You see that? Like, super onti lang. Then just graze it on your skin. You don't want it to be fully set. Like, parang as long as matanggal lang yung shine, and as long as makita mo lang na kumapit yung makeup. At least throughout the day, especially if you're wearing a face mask at papawisin ka, and it's so hot, you're not gonna melt, and then the makeup is not gonna transfer a lot sa face mask mo. So this is what I do. Alright, so now that our base is done, we are looking fresh. As you can see, it's not full coverage. It's medium. You can still see a little bit of my imperfections, some of my spots, but you still look put together. And even if you sweat, mag-smudge man yung makeup mo with the face shield and the face mask, hindi ka mumukhang haggard, and it's easy to fix. So moving on sa eyebrows, I normally use, this is the K palette, Sunday Tattoo. This one's super long-lasting neto. This is in the shade, but this is a little bit expensive. I have some options for you mga curls if you're on a budget. Second option I have here, this is Stage News. Parang this is only like 70 pesos, parang under 100 pesos lang neto. I'm gonna buy a shade na bagay sa blonde hair ko, but this is in the shade Black. Black hair friendly din siya, so if you have black hair, bongga neto. But as of now, for my blonde hair, if you're on a budget, I have here, this is the Vice Cosmetics Ganda Micro Brow. This is in the shade Ash Brown. As a blonde girl na kasi si curl, nakakaloka, so make sure you brush your brows up. But I used to set my brows if I'm on a budget. This is the Izzy & Co. Brow Refiner. I've been a huge user neto. Like, if you're looking for something like natural that will set your brows and make your brows look polished, this one's the best talaga. This one's in the shade Clear. So I just put this on my brows para mukha siyang malinis tignan. Now that's on mga curls, I don't use mascara kasi obviously I have lash extensions, which alam niyo mga curls, if you have the budget, like girl, It's so worth it. It saves you so much time and you look so awake and parang nagtitwinkle yung eyes mo. Pero mga curls, pagdating sa mascara, I have two options for you. I have here the first option that's really nice. This is the Vice Cosmetics and Clutes Super Ultra Mega Curl Mascara. This one, I highly recommend it. It makes your lashes super voluminous and then sobrang waterproof niya din. Then, of course, this is my absolute holy grail. Maybelline The Falsies Lash Lift. So, pagdating sa cheeks, mga curls, I would highly recommend you use a cream blush. I know it sounds weird considering the fact na we set our face na. The reason why maganda gumamit ng cream blush, if you're sweating, it's humid, pag once nabasa yung mukha mo sa pawis at sa init and humidity kasi it's really hot, ang cream blush, hindi siya magiging patchy. Like, if you have cream blush on top of your makeup, madali lang yan i-retouch. You take your beauty blender, it's gonna look brand new. It's gonna work with the foundation and powder underneath. Whereas, if you use powder, once nabasa na yan, kakalat na yan, and when you blend it, nagmumukha na siyang pachi-pachi kasi it's a powder na rin. Cream blush that I would highly recommend if you're on a budget, this is the Ever Bilena Power Paint in the shade Chiffon. Maganda to kasi it also has that texture na matte siya. So, even if it gets wet, it's still gonna remain on your skin. Take the cream blush on the back of my hands, melt it on the back of my hand. Whatever's left on my finger, I'm just gonna put it on my apples on my cheeks. Okay? Don't put too much kasi depending on how you get red pag nainitan ka. Alam niyo mga curls, kahit ako maitim ako, for some reason, my cheeks turns red. Taray, feeling mestiza, sino ka dyan? Wow! Pero I swear, like, kahit morena ako, pag nainitan ako, I turn pink. So, depending on how pink you turn, don't put too much blush. Kasi, especially pag nainitan ka, tsaka pag naka-face mask ka, syempre nainitan yan, it's gonna make your face initially red naman eh. So, you don't need too much. Ayan, onti lang. Tapos, don't put too much on your nose kasi dyan umiipit yung face mask mo, yung face shield mo. So, andito nagsasmudge yung face shield mo. So, pagdating sa highlight, I don't put highlight kasi I find it very dirty. So, when it comes to highlight naman mga curls, I skip that kasi we're gonna sweat, we're gonna glow sa init and a little bit of oil. Let's be real, it happens. And also, I tend to skip contour and bronzer kasi initially, my number one tip I would give if you're going for a natural look. Don't focus on contour and bronzer if you want to look natural. Focus on blush kasi normally as humans, we naturally blush eh. Mapa situations na kinilig tayo, mapahiya, mainitan, we normally blush naturally, right? I can't imagine kinilig ka tapos nag-bronze ka, girl. Yun totoo. Okay, so now that we're done with blush, kilay, the skin, I am gonna go for the lips. Pagdating sa lips, I just wear lip tint. Normally wear lip tints and then binabaon ko na yung lipstick. Let's say, ganito, like you're in a situation na you're outside, sama mo a friend mo or yung jowa mo, ganon. And then you're gonna go like a cafe or whatever, or you're gonna go on a date. So this is what you normally should do. Prior to going outside, mag-lip tint ka na muna. Then when you take off your mask, if you're like in a cafe or whatever, ka na mag-lipstick once your face mask is off. There's some suggestion when it comes to lip tints na I would highly recommend. If you're on a budget, this is my favorite. This is the Ever Bilena Lip and Cheek Stain. This is in the shade Perfect Plum. Second affordable option I have here, this is the Vice Cosmetics Dewy Tint. Ayan, this is in the shade Rosy Pink. Second, I would use this one. This is Cream Tints na Izzy & Co. This is in Soft Berry. Wait, swatch ko nga pala. Kakaloka, mag-swatch nga tayo bakla. Swatch ko na lahat, nakakaloka. Pinakita ko lang, hindi ko pala swinatch. This is Perfect Plum. Ayan siya. It's almost like the perfect magenta color. Then this is yung Dewy Tint ng Vice Cosmetics, Rosy Pink. This is Soft Berry ng Izzy & Co. Maganda din yan. Then this is Happy Skin Cooling Lip and Cheek Tint in the shade Dusk. This is my favorite. And also, I should mention BLK Wondermelon. Hindi ko lang siya mahanap. Hindi ko alam kung saan na handbag nilagay ko doon. Kasi, alam niyo, like, comment down below. Ako lang ba? Minsan pag may favorite ako lipstick, dadalhin ko siya or lip tint. Sobrang dami mong bag. Hindi mo alam kung saan mo nilagay. Nakakaloka. Alam niyo mga girls, as of lately, I've been using this is the Happy Skin Fresh Morning Dew in the shade Dusk. Sobrang ganda neto. I would use this not only just wearing a face mask, even in the beach or whatever. I would use this. So, malabig siya sa lips. It gives you that tint. And it almost makes your face na parang kumpleto na siya. So, ayun. Look at this. I swear, mga girls, comment down below kung gusto niyo makita yung bagong Fresh Morning Dew na review. Let me know. Kasi as in, mukha talagang tanga dun. Kaya hindi ko siya ma-upload kasi nahiya ako. Wow! Sino ka dyan? Dati mukha ka naman tanga eh. Okay, tas hindi siya magta-transfer. So, we're done. Pagdating sa setting spray naman, mga curls, you all know I love this is the Real Matte Makeup Setting Fix But I just realized, mas okay pa nga maging dewy yung face mo. So this is the Lux Organics Beauty Mist by Ann Klutz. Shout out to Mama Ann. Maganda to kasi it will keep your face slightly dewy. So ayun nga, mas maganda na medyo dewy yung makeup mo para just in case mag-smudge yan or mapawisan ka, madali lang siya i-repair and retouch. A little bit. Onti lang. Tama na yun. And then take your sponge and then just like blot your face. Ayan. But it just looks like skin. And voila mga curls. So this is the finished look. I swear mga curls, kung hindi lang ako nag-tutorial dito, this is just gonna take me like maximum 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Lahat na yan. Like look, ito na yan siya. Lahat ng products available locally, affordable. I gave you options, affordable, may iba, mahal. Pero my gosh, like, you're gonna look put together, you're not gonna look tired, you're gonna look fresh. Tapos, this is the type of makeup na kahit pawisan ka, you just take your beauty sponge, you blend it like that, it's gonna look brand new, it's gonna look fresh. Proven and tested, enchanted kami, this is what I use. Every time lumalabas kami, naka-face mask, naka-face shield, this is what I use. And alam niyo mga curls, yung tinted sunscreen, it's inevitable. Magta-transfer siya onte throughout the day. But, as long as may baon kang beauty sponge, you can just blend it like that. And then powder. You're gonna be fresh the whole day. Tip ko lang sa inyo, make sure your application is very light para throughout the day, kahit mag-retouch ka na, mag-layer kayo ng powder, hindi siya mukhang cakey. It's not gonna look like you piled on a lot of makeup. It's gonna look natural and seamless. Alright mga curls, so that concludes our video of our more realistic some makeup tutorial. What do you guys think? Like, comment down below, and comment down below what vlogs you want me to film in the future. And also mga curls, like, comment down below if you're gonna give this a try. And of course mga curls, I hope you found this video interesting and helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And of course mga curls, very important is to stay mashikep, my mother. How's the keep? Bye guys!